All right, everybody, what's going on? How y'all doing? Welcome to today's edition of SWAC Talk, the show we cover the SWAC inside and out. Of course, I'm your tour guide around the SWAC. See what else coming at you. And we are gonna, as you can tell from the title of this show, we're just gonna talk a little bit about Coach Connell Maynor being relieved of his duties at Alabama A&M. Um, we're gonna talk about, go over the little press release and kind of take a look at maybe what went wrong in his time there. Like obviously, I'm not boots on the ground up there, so I can't really say, exactly what the frustrations were, other than my look at certain things. But they decided to go in a different direction, so we're gonna kind of talk about it a little bit. Um, I will have a video on the players of the year and the All SWAC team when all that is settled and announced. Also, Wednesday is our SWAC championship game preview. Thursday, SWAC smoke, and then Sunday our SWAC championship game recap. Um, Also, our SWAC championship game pick'em link will be in the description. It's also on my Facebook and Instagram, which are both SWAC Talk, and also on my Twitter account, which is SWAC Talk 76. Don't forget to like the video, comment, and share your thoughts on this move here. Um, and also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel while you're here, and just hit that notification bell to be alerted to when videos like this drop. This is the time of the year where different things start taking place, and you never know what's gonna happen. So keep it locked in for that. And we also gonna start talking a little basketball in the next couple of weeks. So definitely keep it locked in for that. But right now it's all football all the time. And so let's go ahead and get into this. I'm gonna look at this press release that was dropped. That was dropped today at 3:04 p.m. Um, so, like I said, only a couple hours ago, and it's not a long release. It's pretty short and to the sweet. It says Alabama A&M University Director of Athletics, Dr. Paul A. Bryant, announced on Monday a change in leadership for the Alabama A&M football program, relieving head coach Connell Maynor from his duties, effective immediately. A national search for the program's next head coach will begin immediately as well. We want to thank Coach Connell. We want to thank Connell Maynor for his 7 seasons at Alabama A&M University. Brian said, "We wish him well in all his future endeavors," and that's pretty much it. Cut and dry. They're going in a different direction, and you also got to look at it. He received a contract extension before the fall of 2021 season. Um, After he kept coming off of that spring championship, and basically, didn't really have a lot of success after that point in time. When you look at his tenure at Alabama A&M, he took over in 2018. He went 6-5 that year, went 5-2 in the SWAC, finished second in the East. 2019, he went 7-5, 4-3 in conference, finished tied for second in the East. And then in the spring season, he went 5-0 in conference, 5-0 in 5-0 overall, 3-0 in conference. Finished first in the SWAC East, won the championship that year. Uh, Fall of 2021, he went 7-3 overall and 5-3 in conference, finished third. 22, 4-7, 4-4 in conference, finished fourth. 2023, 5-6, 3-5 in conference, finished fourth. And then 2024, he went 6-6 and 4-4 in conference, finished fourth again. So as you can see, um, other than his first couple years where he finished tied for second, and then he won the championship in the spring season, never finished higher than third, and only did that once, and that was with a team with a loaded offense in 2021. They finished third, and after that, two losing seasons and then a 500 season. So just not the success that you would want coming off of what you look like he was building a team to contend for championships moving forward, and just never really got over that hump. Finished his tenure at Alabama in 40-32 overall, and 28-21 in conference. So finished with an overall conference winning record, finished with a winning overall record, but just these last few years just kind of was like the downturn. And when you look at um, where this team started and where they ended. Um, in 2018, they had the fifth ranked scoring offense. They had the fourth ranked total offense, the sixth ranked rushing offense, and the third ranked passing offense. Defensively that year, they finished second in scoring, third in total defense, fifth in rushing defense, and second in passing defense. Now that would be probably the best defense they had in his time there statistically. 2019, the offense took off. They were second in scoring, second in total offense, sixth in rushing, and first in passing. Defensively, they really slid. They were 10th in scoring defense, ninth in total defense, eighth in rushing defense, sixth in passing defense. 21 spring season, they finished first in scoring, total offense, and passing offense, and they were eighth in rushing offense. Again, the spring numbers are kind of hard to kind of compare because everybody didn't play equal amount of games, but their offense was very, very explosive that year. Their defense was third in scoring defense, fourth in total defense and passing defense, and fifth in rushing defense. Also, take into account that in 18 and 19, there were 10 teams in the SWAC and not 12. So there was a couple of times they finished last in the conference in those stats. Uh, 2021 fall season, another great offense, first in scoring, total offense and passing offense, ninth in rushing offense. Defensively, they were ninth in scoring defense and passing defense, as well as total defense, and 11th in rushing defense. So you see there's a big drop off right there. Um, and then the offense kind of slid in 22. They dropped to 10th in scoring offense. They were third in total offense, sixth in rushing offense, and fourth in passing offense. Defensively, they were 10th in scoring, seventh total defense, eighth rushing defense, and 11th in passing defense. 23, the offense jumped back up, second in scoring, third in total offense and passing offense, and fifth in rushing offense. Defensively, got a little bit better, eighth in scoring defense and passing defense, sixth in total and rushing defense. And then this past season, second in total, second in scoring offense, first in total and passing offense, and third in rushing offense. That was probably the best offense they had statistically um, since 2021. So really good offense this season. Defensively, still not up to par. Ninth in scoring defense, eighth in total, sixth in rushing, and 11th in passing. Um, so the one thing you can take away from this tenure is offensively, they always have been a really good offense. Even the first year that he took over, which was probably his lowest ranked offense, his first year when he took over, he had a kill glass as a freshman quarterback that year. Uh, and they still won 6 games, which was the first time that they won 6 games in a while. Um, and it looked like they were gonna take that step and become a team to be a contender. And the defense, for whatever reason, the defense fell off the cliff and never got back up. And they tried really hard over the past few years to address defense in the portal and just never really hit on a lot of guys. They did hit on a few guys, and they had a few guys who were really solid defenders, but as a unit, just never really could put it together. And so I thought coming into this season that this would be um, in the summer and preseason, a lot of us felt like this was a make or break season. I thought honestly, I thought that they had did enough to kind of get him to that next year, but obviously they didn't. I think they had a kind of slow start. I'm playing Auburn, obviously going to cost you a win in the first game, and then they had two non D1 games with they blew out Kentucky State, and they had a tough battle with Georgetown, Kentucky, and then they got blown out by Austin P, which put them at 2-2 before they had the game against FAMU, which was postponed. They lost to Jackson State by 7 in a game they trailed big and made a comeback. They blew out Bethune-Cookman, and then they lost 2 straight games to Southern and Alabama State and Southern. Then they won 3 in a row. They beat Pine Bluff, they beat Grambling, and they beat Valley before they lost to FAMU on Saturday. So not really, not really a season that indicated that you should be gone. But they didn't really beat anybody ahead of them. Everybody that they lost to finished ahead of them in the standings, and everybody that they beat finished below them. So you really can't take a lot from where they were. I don't think they really made huge strides, but I don't think they took huge steps back this season. But I think when you have well, you had direction in your administration that wasn't there when he was brought in. Obviously those kind of situations, you're not tied to this guy, you're not married to him, you're not a championship program, so maybe the time is now to make that move. And if you're gonna make it, you need to make it as soon as you can, so you can start to start to look at candidates and um, get somebody in who can get the job done for you for whatever your expectations are. Um, Obviously, everybody's goal in this conference is to win the division, win the conference, and then make it to Atlanta. So I don't really think anybody's idea of what their team's expectations are that different. Now, depending on where you are in the conference standings, maybe you want to win you want to win 6 games first, and then whatever. But when you are in a division with in-state rival, who has been a pretty solid program the last few years, um, and two teams, even though FAMU was down this season, they won the SWAC last season. Jackson State is working on winning the SWAC for the third time in 4 years. You really want to keep pace with those guys and not fall into the group of guys behind you. And I think if you're gonna make that change, then you go ahead and make it now. You don't want to go into next season, with a guy who may be a lame duck, and have him coaching for his job every week. So I think that's a huge thing. And also, losing the Magic City Classic the last 3 times also is a huge thing. So it's not necessarily surprising. I just thought that he had survived because he made it through the season. I thought if anything, you may see something happen um, after Magic City, or the rumblings will start to beat up. But I think I thought they kind of kind of rounded in the form a little bit. Like I said, obviously defensively they just haven't had a solid defense in years. But when you have offensive minded coach, you're typically not going to have great defenses. But I think they just never really have been in a sound position in the last few years on that side of the ball. So we'll see where they go from here. Obviously, that they're saying they're going to do a national search, so hopefully, it's not necessarily guys who already been in the SWAC. Um, maybe some new blood can come in and freshen things up, but it's also changes a lot of things in the conference. There is no coach who has been who has been in the league more than 3 years, counting, moving into next season. Next season, the most tenured coaches in the conference, if I'm not mistaken, are going to be TC Taylor, um, Raymond Woody, and Alonzo Hampton. They all been at their respective schools for 3 years, so they're going into that third year. Next year will be their third year. So this is a conference full of new coaches all over, and I think that's one of the things. And I don't want to go too deep into this on this show, but I think that's one of the reasons why SWAC football is not necessarily the most consistent thing in the world, because there's tons of new coaches and there's tons of turnover all the time. So, there is no coach who has been in a program and just consistently built it up over time. Now that this guy is gone. So, like I said, we'll keep an eye out on the situation, and anything come across, um, we'll look at it. If you got any ideas of who you think should be the coach at A&M, put it in the chat, and we'll see what's up. So with that being said, man, I'm your tour guide around the SWAC, Sewell, signing out, and I will catch y'all on the rebound. Peace.